where I've turned it around at the moment. I've turned that unit around, faced that off. That's all sitting in, it's all squared off. Now I drilled a 1/2 inch hole off camera. Anyway, so that's all there, so that's not a problem at all at this stage. Now what I've done is I've actually gone in the full depth of the actual well, where it has to seat on the inside. So what we're going to do now is we need to take about 12mm out of this or thereabouts, and then that should be just about ready to go on. Sorry about the actual camera position, I can't do much about it at this stage. Right, the only job that has to be done, I think I'll just recheck the size of it, but considering this comes in okay, we just need to put a woodruff key in there, or a keyway, whatever you want to call it. That's about a 6mm or 6.5. Okay, that should be quite good there. Now what I'll have to do is reset it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn a taper on this side, well, which has still be that side, but I'll be cutting from this side, and that's going to be at 20 degrees, which will give me an 80-degree taper. Well, we've got all this locked up, we'll see how we go. Well, that's pretty well it. I mean, I've got the taper there. I'll just recheck it shortly, and I've got a 10mm hole going straight through, and then I've got that hole there where it actually slides on the assembly. Now, what I'm going to do, because I haven't got anything to cut a groove with, what I'll do, I'll just use a 6mm square piece of high-speed steel, and I'll actually cut the keyway in here. Either this side or that side. I'll just have to work out which way I'm going. I can't lock the chuck up, so the only thing I can do is just lock it down to about 70 RPM, and that pretty well holds everything. That's fairly solid there. If I knock it right down, put in low gear, as you can see, it's very, very tight, like so. So all you need now is to set up the 6mm key, and I don't know, I'll probably put in there because I can actually dig into it and I can probably see it better. Anyway, I'll work it out, then we'll get back on it. Now at the moment I haven't got a proper unit to make a keyway, so I have to turn around, and I'm actually I've got a piece of steel there which I'm going to face on the 4 sides, and then what I'll do, I'll cut or make it into a proper unit to cut the keyway into the plastic. So by the time I do this, and then I'll taper it, so then I just cut the keyway in the plastic there, then it should be ready to go on. Doing that's actually the second side. So I'm only doing a 1mm cut, so that should be more than enough what I need on this one. And then as soon as I've cleaned up the edges, take the burrs off it, then I'll just turn around and I'll start cutting in. I think it's 7, the actual key is 7mm, so I'm probably making about just over 7mm, 7.1, something like that. Alright, what I'm doing here is, because I haven't got a proper tool to cut the keyway, what I've done, I've got a piece of steel there, and I've actually cut that down to the width, which is 7.35mm wide, and I'm going to attempt to actually cut my own keyway in there, and that'll be just by going in and out like so. So it's a slow, drawn out process. I've got about 3mm to take out, and I'm hoping that it'll actually cut it, as long as I don't try and take too big a bite or something like that. Now it is cutting a bit of a flat there. I don't know, I'm hoping that yeah, you can see that quite well. Well, the groove's coming in very slowly with the keyway. Now what I'm chasing is about 28.14 or thereabouts. You've still got a couple of mil to go yet. The only problem is here I've got a blind hole, so it makes it a bit more awkward trying to get the chips out. It just says I've put it back in the same spot. I'm hoping, where are we? That's our keyway in there. Anyway, you get the gist of it. Let me see. Now that's the keyway there. Now that fits quite well. I've just had it onto the machine. Now the only thing is I have to clean a bit of the shavings off right on the inside there. Now that is the overall unit at the moment. The wheel fits onto, if I can get onto it, the wheel fits onto this groove here inside there. Then I just have to drill and tap half dozen holes and fit it. We'll also have to have a look and see how it goes from there. Right, what we're doing here is I'm actually drilling the hole, tapping, and I'm getting the wheel back onto our block here. Now I've already drilled and threaded. Now the only way I can do that so that it's very, very equal. Even though I've got this edge here, it's actually sitting inside. To go and do it on the drill on the bench, it's going to quiver and everything, so the thread's going to be everywhere. So what I've done is I've drilled the holes in the actual wheel from 5mm out to 8. I'm putting a 8 by 1.25mm thread on it with a proper cap head bolt. Now what I'm doing is I'm putting a 7mm drill bit through, and that'll go through into there. Then I'll tap it from there. Now to get my depth, the depth going down, I have to have that, allow that for it to go into so far. So if I was to bring that back down to here, roughly there, then I have to allow at least that much thread on there. So therefore what I'll do is I've actually got a marker on here, or will have, so because I only need to go down so much. If I go down too far, it'll pop out the other end. We don't want that. So if we work out where that is, and I'll lock that up. It's only approximate, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then from there, I have to mark in at least the full depth, which will go to here. Well, I can go a bit more, doesn't really matter, we'll work it out in a minute. What I'll do is I'll just put a little screwdriver in there, just check to see how deep it is. Okay. So the total is up to, well, that's a rough way. No, I'll go just that fraction deeper. Now what I'm going to do from there is, it's going to be a very slow process initially. I'm going to take that off, and I've got another E32 collet here which will take the 8mm thread. Yeah, so what I'm doing, I'm just taking this out now, because this E32 collet and everything, that's all set up for the 7mm to go in. Then I'll transfer it across, and I'll put this one in, which is ready for the 8mm tap. I want to make sure it's locked up because I don't want it to float around on me or anything like that. Otherwise it'll just keep spinning. We don't want that. Now, like I said, it is very slow, but that should be, well, I'm hoping it should be reasonably accurate now. Now, the only problem with this is that because I have not got a variable speed machine here, it'll all have to be done by hand, which is pretty well a pain in the proverbial, but you can't do much until the point that I get a DRO set up on it one day. Now if all is well and equal, that should go straight in there and bolt down. Yeah, I'll just what I'll do is I'll go around and do the rest off camera, because it just takes too long and I don't want to bore you too much. Well, there we have our wheel. It's assembled, and it's also got the unit on the back. You can see the keyway I made up on it, and all we need to do now is see if we can fit it into that position there, and then it should work. Alright, we've got our wheel hooked up now. As you can see, it's right there. That works quite well up and down. If we come around here, that's free. Now when I come around, I'll just tighten the knob up. Only needs a very light touch, which as you can see locks that up, and then we can actually turn that, and the actual quill will move everything up and down like it's supposed to. So we just give that a bit of probably a quarter of a turn. You don't need much, and then that will go up and down manually again. Other than that, I'd say the project appears to be reasonably okay. Well, well, it's got a sports steering wheel. Maybe it'll go faster now, I don't know. But anyway, so that's done, and yeah, another job completed, and thanks for watching.